Today's episode is the new Hellboy movie. Did that have a subtitle?
No, it didn't. It was released in 2019, and it's not a continuation of the older Hellboys. It's a reboot, so none of the original characters that were in the first two movies are back.
The actors.
The fish guy wasn't in it, and the lady that could flame on.
Boy, they got some really good lookalikes, though. I thought this was Ron Perlman pretty much the whole movie until you told me it wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know who the actor is that did the Hellboy, this one. But I didn't recognize the name.
Then we got Lilu.
Milla Jovovich.
Yeah. I thought Perlman was really good in it.
Yeah, he was.
And this guy's doing like a dead-on impersonation of him, too. I didn't see him really act different, like at all. Just keeping the old shtick.
It was nice that he wasn't CGI, that he was an actual actor.
Yeah, that was refreshing.
Because they're moving away from that and just making characters that they have to do a lot of prosthetic makeup. They just make them CGI now.
Now, was that pig CGI? Because he looked really good.
I think he was. Oh, yeah, spoilers.
Yeah, there's a big pig guy in it.
There's a big pig guy. I think he was one of those digital actors they do now with the dots all over the face and the camera work. And then they just animated over the top of him. He
looked like, kind of like Bebop from the Ninja Turtle movie, but done really good.
Yeah, he was definitely a wild boar. He wasn't like Babe the Pig.
No. I think I like the dad better in the first one.
Yeah, they only hit on his origin story a little bit about the Nazis conjuring him. So if you're thinking this is a Nazi Hellboy, it really isn't.
It seemed, too, that they kept the same origin. They didn't really diverge really at all.
Yeah.
A lot of the scenes in this one, like where he's taking over the earth and stuff, could have been straight out of the first one. And then even in that one too, it was all visions of what could happen.
It's got an R rating, and it's definitely R-rated.
Heavy R.
The makers of Hellboy are Dark Horse Comics, which are extremely graphic. And the first two Hellboys were tame in comparison to this one. This one is very violence heavy and lots of gore and lots of blood. Definitely not for kids. So the premise of the movie is there's a blood witch, and she brought the Black Plague to England because she controls all the like the fairies and the goblins and the demons and stuff. And there's supposed to be a truce between her and King Arthur.
Yeah, King Arthur's in it.
He betrays her and chops her up and puts her in boxes around England. She gets put back together by the pig guy because he wants vengeance on Hellboy, because we find out that the pig was a changeling that got found out by Hellboy, so he didn't get to grow up to be a human. Because I guess once changelings get found out, they turn back into their natural form, which I guess was a pig man.
Yeah.
And so he wants vengeance, but the Blood Queen wants Hellboy to be her king, to reign in the era of monsters and demons over humanity. That, and she's been locked in a box, 7 boxes for 1,500 years.
500 years?
1,500.
15.
So she's a little pissed off.
Yeah, cinematography was good. Tons of blood. A lot of gore. The one girl can talk to the dead, but how she has the dead talk through her is disgusting.
Yeah, it looks like she spits up her lungs and intestines and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't get it. Was it like a vomit that was shaped like the dead guy?
I don't know. It was like she sucked in their spirit and then she spit them back out so they could talk through her.
And she said something when she sucked back the one. She said, "How do you feel if I have something go back in your mouth or something?" It was weird. I didn't catch what she said.
Yeah, somebody else's spit back in your mouth or something.
Yeah.
That was kind of gross.
Yeah, it's heavy on the gross factor. If you like that, you'll love it. Ooh, yeah. The giants were really cool. It's got giants in it.
The giants were cool, but it was kind of weird because they did really good CGI on the end monsters. Giants were kind of sometimes out of focus, like the detail wasn't really with them.
Yeah, I don't know if they were going for a depth perception thing with the camera being fuzzy on them.
But like they had these like 6 demon monsters at the end at the end of the movie, and they were like straight out of your nightmares kind of demons, and they were really well done.
They kind of reminded me of the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
They looked like the things from Silent Hill.
Yeah, Silent Hill.
They were all like bones and gristle and ripping people's faces off and stuff.
That was the thing with the Milla
Jovovich.
because I got a lot of Silent Hill vibes from it.
Except she was in Resident Evil.
Oh, yeah. Well, I got the Resident Evil vibes from it, except she was on the wrong side.
Yeah, and because in Resident Evil they have that triangle-faced guy that drags around half that axe.
Yeah.
And that looked like one of the demon things at the end.
I love that giant sword. That was really cool. Big giant. It's a sword for the giant.
It was his hand.
Oh, was it?
It was a flat bone hand, and he was cutting people in half and like eating their insides.
Oh, no, not that guy. No, I mean the giant. His sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh no, that was nasty. It was like, his hand was like a guillotine or something.
Yeah, it was
Skin shredder or something.
Yeah. But that was his hand. That wasn't like something he could put down. But yeah, you're right. The Giants were kind of gnarly.
And then they left it open for sequels.
Yeah.
They're gonna reboot it. I didn't really hear much about it, if it did well or not.
I think people didn't like it because they didn't want to reboot. They wanted to see the third story.
Yeah.
Because the third story ended with that flame anchor chick being pregnant with Hellboy's kids.
Yeah.
With the twins. And they kind of go, she's like, yeah, I'm pregnant. And that was the end of that. So we never really got to see Hellboy's kids.
Well, because they got this guy that looks like just like Ron Perlman. The same mannerisms and everything, pretty much. In fact, like I said, I thought it was him because his voice was a little more gravelly. I thought, it was just due to age, but I don't know why you wouldn't just continue the story if you're going to mimic everything from the first one.
Yeah, I don't see why there was a need for a reboot.
Because when that Chris Pine did Captain Kirk, he didn't do a Captain Kirk impersonation. He did it his own way.
Right.
I'm not saying it was better, but, he was just... This guy was doing Ron Perlman.
Well, the reboots for Star Trek came... the original Star Trek movies ended, late 90s?
Mm-hmm.
So it's been 10 years, 12 years since the Star Trek franchise left. Hellboy's, I think the last one.
Yeah, that's pretty new.
The last one, I think, was 2012.
Wow.
I could be wrong about that.
Well, what they should have done was made this a prequel instead of a reboot and just focus the story in the 1950s or 40s and then do this one later, as part of the new franchise launch or something. Because then they introduced the Claw guy, Captain Claw or something. It's like Dark Horse's Captain America.
Yeah.
And he got a lot of screen time in the flashback, and then he was in it again at the end of the credits. But
yeah, there's a whole story of when he was a kid of fighting demons in the 50s.
Yeah.
They could have totally done that. And didn't Hellboy age faster? When he got spawned, he was like an infant, or like a 2 or 3 year old when they spawned him.
Yeah, and he grew fast.
He grew fast. He was like a teenager in like 5 years or something.
Yeah, the other thing too is they didn't explain the arm at all. He just had one big heavy arm. I was waiting for him to use it as the key to open something.
Yeah, because didn't he do that in number 2?
I think it's in the first one. Wasn't it the door to hell or something? That's the key to hell or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they expect you to know what it was or he's just kind of a freak or something.
Yeah. And in this one they said his mom was a witch and she married a demon and he took her to hell, and Hellboy is the spawn of this witch and the demon.
Yeah.
Back in the 1500s or something.
Well, the demon took her to hell on their honeymoon.
Nice.
So never trust a demon. And she was the great-great-great-granddaughter of King Arthur.
Yeah, so Hellboy's royalty apparently. Which makes sense that he has a crown of fire between his horns.
Yeah, because I think if you got King Arthur blood or something, then you get to rule England.
Yeah, so he's ancient royalty that can now rule England.
Mm-hmm. That's what she said at the end, too. Something about he's now the King of England or something.
Yeah, the girl in the movie, I didn't catch her name. She was the baby that the changeling took. The fairies took her, and then they left the changeling. And I'm not sure how Hellboy got contacted by the parents to come figure out what was going on. It was like he knew them, and so he got the baby back, which was... her name was Alice, that's right. And she has, like, psychic abilities, like she can punch out souls.
She might have got those from those fairy things that were taking her. I love that her mom, though, Even as a baby, her mom was like, there's something wrong with her. That's not her. That's not her baby.
Yeah. But I don't know how they knew to contact Hellboy for him to come help. Because they just seemed like a regular British couple, and Hellboy's like, yeah, that's a changeling. Get your baby back.
Well, that one agent guy in Mexico, he said, oh, here's the most famous paranormal investigator ever or something.
Oh, that's true.
Maybe he was famous. Because it didn't seem like people were scared of him. Like, it was just a normal thing to have him walking around. And he drove that truck down to Mexico.
Well, the other thing in number 2 is they kind of came out as there were paranormal investigators of weird things, and there were people with abilities, and they weren't metahumans. They weren't hiding anymore. They were out in the open. And so that's what I kind of thought with the Hellboy going down to Mexico. You're like, why is he just walking around? It's not really a big deal. But I think, or like in the bar. He's sleeping at the bar in the middle of the day, and people are like serving him and walking around. And it's like not a big deal.
Yeah, and he had to hide in the shadows and all the stuff. Like, Ninja Turtles or something.
Yeah, and even the weird things eating people in London. They had this big thing where they're like, go inside, don't open your doors, and people are walking around the streets ignoring the news broadcast, and they're like, yeah, it's a demon just ran past me, or a goblin or whatever, and they weren't even fazed by it.
Well, it was London.
It's just another day in London.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, if you watch it though, you gotta do the outtakes.
Yeah, those were good.
They should have been in the movie.
Maybe, I'm thinking, because like you said, they were cut. They were finished. They're finished. So I'm thinking they're cut for time.
There was a part where Hellboy got sucked into this alternate dimension where there's a house walking on legs, and I think I've read a German fable of the witch's wandering house, which is kind of how Hansel and Gretel, that fable, got born. Because this house would just appear in the forest, and when people got lost, they would be like, oh, a house, let's go to it. And of course it was full of witches that would eat you, and to not be found out by people, it would get up and wander. Because when you read the Hansel and Gretel, you're like, well, how was this house just in the middle of nowhere? And it was enticing to people to come into the house, and then it would get up and it would walk away. So it's the house of the wandering witches.
It was really well done too. The house looked real, like 1800s kind of cottage thing. Wasn't made out of candy or nothing.
But it could be.
Yeah.
It could be whatever you wanted it or needed it to be.
Well, it should have been, because Hellboy loves candy.
He didn't eat any candy in this.
Yeah, he didn't eat any carbs.
And there was no cats.
He was gonna eat that pig guy.
Barbecue. Let's make some barbecue.
Yeah, no cats either. Yeah, that's right.
No cats, no candy.
See, I haven't read the comics, but I'm guessing maybe this is a more comic book accurate rendition of it or something. Because the things get, watered down and changed for movies, so maybe they went with a more...
Maybe they went with a more PG-13 made for kids comic book hero versus slicing and dicing and brains oozing out.
Yeah, they couldn't make this one
Yeah.
too heavy R or something.
It was heavy R. Even though that it was, well, obviously CGI dead people, but still, to see somebody get their skin ripped off and brains splattered everywhere, that was gross. No, but it was definitely good graphics. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely not for kids.
2019, so there wouldn't be a sequel for a couple of years if they get one.
I haven't heard anything about a sequel. I heard people didn't like it because they didn't want to reboot. They wanted the third part of Hellboy. Mm-hmm. So they have an agent with them, and I didn't catch his name either. And he's did you catch it?
Agent Smith.
Oh.
I don't know.
And he works with the paranormal people in England, and he's got all these scars all over his face, and he told Alice about how he got his scars, which was down in Belize, fighting this man-eating monster, and we find out that he got turned into a man-eating monster, and he turns into this giant, not a jaguar, because they're black.
He might have been a jaguar. No, what's a leopard? I think he was a leopard. Because he looked like a cheetah, but he wasn't.
Right, he was more stocky.
Yeah.
And he turns into a giant leopard.
Yeah, then he's all, I'm really more of a dog person or something. Hey, so there's your cat. There was one cat in it. In
one of the parts at the end, it looks like they might have found the fish guy from number 2.
Yeah.
Abraham? Is that what his name was in the?
He was in the first one too.
Was he in the first one?
Yeah.
Because they have a tank and you see a hand, but you don't really see him.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that wasn't. I don't know.
They definitely set it up for a sequel.
They did, but that was a
gave
stupid
teasers.
that was a stupid teaser. Cause you're like, so what? Ooh, the fish guy's coming next time. All right.
I liked him.
I liked him too, but I didn't notice he wasn't even in the movie until
I did.
during the credits.
I did. Hellboy didn't have any backup.
Yeah, he needed another freak. Well, he did. He had the cheetah guy.
Yeah, but we didn't get the cheetah guy till like 20 minutes into the end.
Yeah.
Till the end.
Yeah, spoilers.
I liked it.
Yeah.
It was interesting because I've never read any of the Hellboy comics, so I don't know any of the story.
Well, you know what I like to see is a third party, not a DC or Marvel. I like to see these third parties get their comic book stuff out.
Wasn't Ghost Rider Dark Horse?
No, he's Marvel. He was part of the Dark Avengers, the Dark Riders, Dark Horsemen or something. He was part of an Avengers kind of team, but they were all dark guys. That was I was hoping to see that.
Because it's almost shot in the same style as that last Ghost Rider with Nicolas Cage.
The crazy one?
Yeah, with the 4 elements.
Yeah.
The 4 demon elements.
That was the first one.
Was that the first one?
Yeah. The second one was a crazy one with he kept looking at the camera and flipping out with a white background.
Oh.
Like all other Nick Cage movies.
Is he?
That second one had a really bad. We got to do that one. We should do the Ghost Riders.
I don't even remember there was a second one with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, that's because we saw it one time, and it was so worse than the first one.
Okay. So, are there any other superhero movies that are Dark Horse, or is Hellboy the only one?
I think it's the only one.
Because it can't be the only comic book that Dark Horse has put out.
Ninja Turtles is also a third party. It's Mirage Comics.
If you guys have any suggestions of movies you'd like us to review or watch, leave it in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. We're kind of thinking about doing some series too, like doing all 4 Aliens and
Terminators.
do all the 6 Terminators, do all 6 original Star Trek movies, and then the 4 Next Gen, and then the 3 new ones. I don't know. Yeah, I'd appreciate hearing your guys' feedback. As you know, I always get back to you. Well, thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Enjoy your weekend. And bye-bye.